If you watched a construction crew show up to a vacant lot with hammers and just start, randomly nailing boards together, you'd think they were crazy,
Oh, absolutely. It would be total chaos.
right? They need a blueprint. Yet today's source text, which is a devotional titled Day 6, Living with Purpose, argues that most of us are living our lives exactly like that frantic, blueprintless construction crew.
We really are.
So welcome to today's deep dive. We're unpacking this text's framework for finding meaning, specifically looking at how understanding your individual why fundamentally changes who you let into your life.
Yeah, and what's really fascinating here is how this text actually defines that why in the first place.
Right, it's not quite what you'd expect,
Exactly. It argues that purpose isn't something you just, sit down and invent. You don't have to somehow manifest it out of thin air.
which is a huge relief, honestly.
Oh, for sure.
Well,
Instead, it's something you discover. The author actually references the biblical book of Ephesians, specifically chapter 2, verse 10, to argue this point.
okay, wait, what does that verse say exactly?
Well, it basically says that this purpose involves good works that were already prepared in advance for you.
Okay, so instead of feeling this immense pressure to, like, draw an entire map of your life from scratch, this text is suggesting you already have a compass in your pocket.
Yeah, you just have to pull it out.
But let's be real here. How does a compass actually help when you're just, I don't know, exhausted on a Tuesday night? You're drowning in a massive amount of daily noise, maybe binging a dozen self-help podcasts, just trying to figure out what to do next.
Right, the endless podcast consumption loop.
Yeah. It feels a bit idealistic, like, oh, just follow your internal compass.
Well, I mean, it does sound abstract until you look at the actual mechanism the author's suggesting. This internal compass acts as a ruthless decision-making
A
filter.
filter for all that noise.
Exactly. When you have a firm grasp on your overarching plan, the text explains that the micro choices just sort of clarify themselves. You aren't just reacting to whoever shouts the loudest.
So you're not just blindly doing whatever the latest podcast guru tells you to do.
Right. Knowing your direction gives you the psychological permission to say no to distractions. It lets you confidently allocate your limited energy only to what actually moves you forward.
I love that. And I mean, if having this internal blueprint makes it easier to say no to bad daily habits,
Mm-hmm.
it stands to reason it should also filter who we choose to travel with, right?
Oh, 100%. It completely shifts your relationship dynamics.
But if you're listening to this, you might be wondering how an ancient text from Ephesians translates to choosing your friends or a partner today,
Well, the author.
which is basically the recipe for a modern dating disaster. I mean, you're swiping on dating apps without knowing your own foundational why.
You're effectively asking a total stranger to be your reason for getting up in the morning?
It's so unfair to them. And the text paints a really striking visual here. Two people can genuinely care for one another, but if their internal compasses have them walking in completely opposite directions,
Trying to stay together is going to be agonizing.
right, it's just exhausting.
It really is. And that agony stems entirely from unhealthy dependence. The devotionals framework suggests that a partner is meant to be a gift who walks beside you.
So they aren't the destination itself.
Exactly. When both people are focused on a shared mission or aligned purposes, the pressure is taken off the other person to be your entire universe. You're building that house from a compatible blueprint.
That makes total sense for long-term alignment.
Mm.
But a shift like that doesn't just happen overnight. How does the source suggest putting this abstract compass into practice right now?
Well, theory is great, but execution is what actually builds the house.
Exactly, we need the actionable steps.
So the text prescribes a highly specific daily action plan. It asks you to reflect on your inherent gifts and then write down 3 specific ways you can use those gifts to serve others.
Okay, 3 ways to serve, and then what?
And then you just execute one simple act of service today. That's it.
Oh, wow. The mechanism there is actually really clever.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah, because by writing it down and doing just one small thing, it forces your brain out of consumption mode, like just passively listening to another podcast, and into contribution mode.
Right. It takes this massive, intimidating concept of a life purpose and makes it tangible.
It forces you to look at your daily choices and ask, are you dictating the direction of your life, or are you just letting circumstances and other people decide your path for you?
Ultimately, I think the core life principle distilled from this source is that knowing your purpose inherently leads to wiser, healthier relationship decisions.
Yeah, absolutely. The author actually closes with this thought. I'll just read it here. A life guided by God's purpose will always choose relationships that strengthen, not distract from, his calling.
That is such a powerful way to frame it.
It really is. You have to know what you're building before you invite a crew to help you build it. So we'll leave you with this to ponder.
A little food for thought.
Exactly. If our closest relationships act as a mirror of our life's current trajectory, what do the people you spend the most time with right now reveal about the blueprint you're actively walking toward?